Okay, so this is about my fourth time recording this intro, and I am over it, okay? Over it. I don't know why my phone is playing with me, but it's like not recording. When I press record, then when I get up to look at it, it's recording. Everything fell in place. Like, if you need a sign, this is your sign, girl. This is your sign, boy. Go ahead and start planning that move and do it. Just
All to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions, we'll get away, this is what we waited for.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Welcome if you're new. My name is Alexis. My channel is Alexisjalae and my social media is Alexisjalae. Today I'm going to be doing a 2-year update on my move to New Orleans, as well as a kind of like a chit chat about how I saved to move to another city, how I saved, planned, and executed my move. I did about 2 videos before this. One was an apartment tour, the other I think was a vlog. Just me preparing to move here from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I got a lot of questions in those videos that I didn't really, I think I answered in the comments, but I didn't really get to elaborate on. So I felt like this would be a good video to do, to address some of those questions and also to just give you an update on where I'm at now. I hope this video answers your questions, and also I hope it inspires maybe 1, 2, a few people to take that leap, and if they're interested in moving or they've been thinking about moving, to let this be that push that they need to go ahead and get started with the process. So I really hope you enjoy this video. If you have any questions, comment them below. And if you like this video, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. So let's just get right into it. First I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on me. So I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, born and raised. The reason that I picked to move here is because I had some family here. So I knew I wanted to move to another state, but I still wanted to be somewhere to have a little bit of my comfort zone with me. So I didn't want to move anywhere where I didn't have anybody at all. So I decided I was going to start here, and if I liked it, I would stay. If I didn't, I would just pick another city or, you know, whatever. So I've always liked it here. My dad's family is from here, so my grandmother lived here. I spent a lot of time here as a kid, back and forth, so I always loved it here. So I decided, you know, why the fuck not? Anyway, so I went to school in Wisconsin, to college in Wisconsin. I worked for a year after graduating with my bachelor's, and then I decided to move. So during that year, second quarter of that year, the beginning of the second quarter, I decided that I wanted to move. So I always had the thought in my head, but I just didn't really plan for it. So what I did was I decided that I was going to work full-time and part-time, and I was going to plan my move, save to move, whatever. So I was fortunate enough to be able to stay at home with my parents and live rent-free. All I had was my car note and basic like living expenses if I wanted to go out, clothes, stuff like that. So I was very fortunate to be able to do that. So I took advantage of it. I feel like with me creating my plan, first step of my plan was making a decision, and a decision that I was going to stand in. So once I decided that I didn't want to be there anymore, I wanted to move, I'm an Aries, so I can be very, very indecisive. If you know any Aries, you probably know that about them. So making a decision was like a big part of it for me, and actually sticking to that decision. Once I said it out loud, I had to do it basically. So I made my decision. I made up my mind on where I wanted to move, and I started to plan for it. So the planning for it wasn't that tedious, and I still feel like I did pretty well for my first move. I don't have too many regrets or things that I wish I would have done. So my transition was pretty smooth. Um, I had decided that in that 6 months, I wanted to save $10,000 for my move. So, like I said before, I worked full time and as a director of sales at a hotel, and I worked part time for Coles, what's it called? Coles Credit Center. So I did that part time. So what I did was I basically saved all of the money that I made working as a director of sales at the hotel, and I lived off the Coles money that I made. So my part-time job. For 6 months I did that, and I saved about $10,000, and all of that was for my move. So some of the main expenses that I had was apartment applications, which I only did a few. So I traveled here 3 or 4 times. I didn't really have to, but I definitely recommend traveling to apartment tour. I would not recommend just moving into an apartment based off virtual tours. Yeah, no. So when I came down, maybe the first time, that's when I did like my apartment tours. I made sure I was able to get. I think I stayed for like a week. So if you can, I definitely would recommend staying for about a week so that you can do your apartment tours. You could get a feel for the area that you want to be in. And also hang out a little bit, like go to restaurants if it's festivals, which COVID kind of messes all of that up right now. But it's always a lot going on here outside of where we are now. So just trying to get a feel for it. I already been here like multiple times, so I knew what it was like, but more so exploring the city as an adult, as a single adult, without, being here on family vacation or anything like that. So, yeah, so I did that. The main expenses were traveling here. What else? Traveling here was one. The security deposit and first month's rent for my apartment. And then I also didn't work the first month and a half that I was here, so I made sure I had extra for rent, food, and all that. And honestly, that's another thing that I would recommend. If you are able to take off that first month of moving there, I mean, it may not be realistic for some, but even if you can take off like 2 weeks, a good 2 weeks, I feel like that's good because you have time to get settled in. You don't have to jump right into work. You can kind of explore, get a feel for things, really like bask in your move and just take it all in because it's a big step. It's like a roller coaster of emotions that I'm sure everybody goes through when you take a risk like that, moving away from your comfort zone. And personally, I was really close to my family, and I had never lived on my own prior to, so yeah, it was a lot. But taking off that time, I think, was really beneficial. Another expense was the actual move. So I ordered my furniture here, most of my furniture here for my living room. And that was really it. I had a bedroom set at home that I really loved. So I got a U-Haul, which was like maybe 14, might have been like $1,400 actually. And I bought all of the stuff for my bathroom. Like I was buying stuff as I went. So for that 6 months, I was buying stuff here and there, trash cans for the bathroom set, pillows, bedding, stuff like that. So that when you move, you're not just spending all of these big amounts on furnishing your home. And I knew that I wanted to move in completely furnished. So if I could do things over again, I probably would have just been creating like a savings fund for that, because the whole U-Haul thing, if I didn't love my bed set, I wouldn't have done it. But the whole U-Haul thing is kind of a headache, and it's easier to just move if you don't have to bring furniture and stuff. It's easier to just move and get that stuff when you're here. But put aside a savings, a fund for that to do. And I don't know, it's like when you spending all that money at once, your head just being like, okay, like this is wild. But as far as expenses go, those were the main things that took the most money, of course. What else did I have to pay for? Look into like if you're gonna register your car where you are, if you're gonna leave it registered where you're from, getting an ID, all of that stuff. What else? Finding a job, of course, because you have to have a job. I didn't really have an issue finding a job, luckily. So I would just say do your research on wherever you plan to move. I definitely was looking up that stuff. Throughout that 6 months, I was always doing something, like looking up jobs. I don't know, looking on Instagram for like, stuff to do and all of that good stuff. And yeah, the main part of it is sacrificing and saving, and again, making your decision. So if you know you want to move, once you start saving and once you start seeing your savings build up, it's like, okay, it's getting real, it seems attainable. So yeah, there's that. And I think that was all for like the questions that I had about my move and how I had planned. And then as far as an update goes, so February 1st, I guess, made 2 years. February 1st, 2021, made 2 years of me living here. I'm so proud of myself because I was very comfortable at home. And I just had like a good situation. So I know sometimes with people, like depending on the situation, you may want to move right away. Like you may be just over it and can't take it no more. You got to get away from whoever, whatever. But I had like a really good setup. I lived with my parents, but I didn't live like they lived upstairs, I lived downstairs type of thing. So I was living a good life, honestly, not really paying bills, all that fun stuff. My friends are there, of course. I was comfortable. I was having a good time. So my first year here was tough. Making friends as an adult is not the same as making friends in high school or in college. So it was like, there were some points that were super, super, super lonely, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Why did I do this? But it was an experience, and I got to learn myself more. So it was necessary. I needed to be separated from all of that and to be alone and to really just kind of have that time to myself. So looking back on it, like back then I didn't see it like this, but now it makes more sense. Also, another thing I would say for with your move is if you are like a family person and you're moving away from your family, save at least enough for a round trip ticket home. So the holidays, I was fortunate enough to be able to go home for like all the holidays, and my family came here. But I maybe set out one holiday, and that is like, that can get lonely. I wouldn't recommend, 0 out of 10. So I would recommend saving just in case like you get to that point where I just need to be around my family, people that I know, people that I love, and then you can go enjoy your time. Something will probably happen while you're there. Not something, but something will trigger you and be like, okay, this is why I moved. I'm ready to go now. So sometimes you need that, I think, to just kind of make it make sense for you. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the update. Like I said, I'm moving. I'll be moving sometime this summer, and I think I'll be here for a while. I like it here. It's a lot to do. It's definitely different from the Midwest, so it was a little bit of a culture shock actually living here. But overall, my experience has been really good. I feel like I've grown so much. I truly feel like an adult now, so that's like bittersweet. So learned how to just give it to God and not worry. Because stuff gets tough, stuff be like, okay, I don't know about this. But like when I tell you, if something is meant to be, then it will fall in line. Everything will work out exactly how it's supposed to. So that's all I have for my update. If you have any questions about my move or about here, I'm not completely acclimated. Like, I know some of the spots, I know some of the restaurants, some of the going out spots, stuff like that. So yeah, if you have any questions about that or about like moving in general, the specific details of planning for it, let me know. Hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next video, which will be in apartments. Thank you so much. Bye.